Okay, have you ever been in a meeting or just a conversation where one person is talking with this unshakable confidence, while you're just sitting there silently wondering if you're even smart enough to be in the room? Well, it turns out that feeling, that little voice of self-doubt, it might just be your biggest superpower.
Think about it. You see this all the time, right? On one side, you've got them, the person with an instant answer for everything. They're loud, they're certain, they're always rushing to be right. And then there's you, the one who questions everything, who sees the gray areas, who waits to be precise. And yeah, it can feel like you're a step behind, but what's really happening is that you're playing a completely different and, frankly, a much smarter game.
Because what you're feeling, it's not a flaw, it's not a bug in your system. In fact, psychology shows us that this crushing self-doubt isn't a weakness at all. It is the hallmark of something called intellectual humility, a trait that you only find in minds that are advanced enough to see the gaps in their own knowledge.
So what is this powerful trait? Let's actually dive into the psychology behind all this self-doubt and totally redefine what it means to be smart.
To put it really simply, intellectual humility is just the ability to see the borders of your own knowledge. It's not about thinking less of yourself, not at all. It's about thinking more accurately about what you know, and maybe more importantly, what you don't. And this brings us to a famous idea in psychology, the Dunning-Kruger effect. Just look at this wild inverse relationship here. People with really low competence often have sky-high, off-the-charts confidence. Why? Because they lack the self-awareness to even see their own blind spots. They literally don't know enough to realize how much they don't know.
And that leads us to this kind of beautiful paradox. The more you learn, the bigger and more vast the landscape of your own ignorance appears. So that feeling of self-doubt, it's not a sign you're failing. It's proof. It's evidence that you've climbed high enough up the mountain of knowledge to finally see how much territory there is left to explore.
All right, so now for the fun part. Let's break down 6 super common insecurities that really smart people deal with, and we're going to reframe them. We'll stop seeing them as flaws and start seeing them for what they really are, strengths.
So let's start with number 1. Do you ever feel kind of slow, maybe a little indecisive, because you just can't make a snap judgment like everyone else seems to do so easily?
Well, what the world dismisses as analysis paralysis is actually your brain doing something incredible. It's called deep analytical processing. You're not stuck, you are playing mental chess. Your mind is running simulations, looking at multiple outcomes, weighing consequences 5 steps down the road. While everyone else is just making a reactive move, you're thinking 10 moves ahead.
Okay, next up. Does this sound familiar? That little question, what am I missing? Is that basically the constant background music of your mind?
That's not confusion. That's a high-level cognitive skill called metacognition. It's the ability to think about your own thinking. You're actively scanning for your own biases. You're looking for holes in your logic. It's like an intellectual quality control system that most people don't even know they can run.
How about this one? You're in a heated debate and you find yourself holding back, just listening, while other people are practically racing to plant their flag and declare how right they are.
That's not indecisiveness. It's cognitive patience. You see, rigid thinkers think that changing their mind is a sign of weakness. But you see it as an update, like installing new software. You have patience to let an idea breathe and evolve with new information. You're not struggling for an answer. You're waiting for the right one.
Are you that person who's always asking why about the things that everyone else just seems to accept? The basic stuff, the foundational ideas that nobody else ever questions?
Yeah, that's not naivete. That's a deep-seated drive for causal reasoning. You're just not satisfied with the surface-level answer. Your brain has this fundamental hunger to understand the root cause, the why behind the what. Let's hit a big one. Do you secretly live with this fear that one mistake, one slip-up, is going to be the thing that finally exposes you as a fraud, as an imposter?
That feeling has a name. It's imposter syndrome. And get this, it's actually a byproduct of having incredibly high standards. That pressure you feel only exists because your mind is complex enough to see all the patterns, the nuances, and the expectations that other people completely miss. Your doubt is literally born from your depth. And for our last sign, which really brings this all full circle, do you ever feel like you're the only one who sees the gaps, the flaws, the messy complexities in an idea, while everyone else seems to be living in a world of perfect, simple certainty? This takes us right back to where we started. What looks like low confidence is really just the Dunning-Kruger effect in reverse. You know, it's easy to be confident when you can't see the whole board. Genius sees the gaps.
Your caution isn't weakness. It's a direct result of your clarity.
So, after all that, what does being smart even mean? It's time we all adopted a new definition, a new way of understanding what the real mark of intelligence truly is.
And here it is. This is the whole thing in a nutshell. Real intelligence isn't about sounding smart. It isn't about winning arguments. It's about the willingness to be wrong so that eventually you can get it right. It's choosing adaptation over ego every single time.
So, I really want you to remember this. That nagging voice of self-doubt. It's not a bug in your programming. It's a core feature. It's the operating system of a curious, adaptable, and genuinely intelligent mind.
And I'll leave you with one last question to think about. Now that we've flipped these ideas on their head, take a second and ask yourself which one of these so-called flaws is actually your greatest strength.